Cross ExAnime. I'm Matt. That's Justus. We're back. A-List, Oshinoko, Demon Slayer, the Heavenly Delusion, Yamada-kun level 999, and then Farming Simulator, also known as
Vinland Saga Season 2.
Before we start, I ask every time, have we gotten out of the farm?
Yes. Yeah.
With yeah. Well, not really, but actually.
We got out of the core farming arc. We'll talk about that. Also, just before we get super into it, we're going to be talking about some really heavy stuff. So, like, just be prepared if they're...
Nike, just do it.
Yeah. If you're having bad thoughts, maybe pass. So...
What? That's not until the end of the episode on there. I feel like YouTube's going to give us a warning anyways. Hey, real quick, first off the bat, Demon Slayer. Big important thing. I forget his name because he's not on this. One of the Hirashi, white hair. He killed his mother on Mother's Day. That Mother's Day episode came out. The episode where he killed his mother came out on Mother's Day. I was like, oh, that was a nice, thoughtful thing. I was like, I don't know if they planned for that, but it just so happens to be how it turned out.
Oh, yeah, nice and thoughtful. Murder your mom.
She was a demon and you know it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Demon in the sheets.
She was a demon. It's still just not better.
I mean, with what she have, there was like 7 kids. She had to be a demon in the sheets, my dude.
They were all really young, too. Just popping them out.
That's not how babies are being... That's not how babies are born.
Yeah, just gotta.
What do you got? Like a turkey, like a fucking like suction cup thing.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, to be fair,
ever heard of Conehead?
I was thinking, God, Jesus Christ. No, so the entire family's dead. Yes. This is speaking of. God, he's not on here. I wish I would have had him off the mat. It's Shinazugawa. Is his last name. That's who the white hair dude is. His brother is also a demon slayer, but he's like half demon. So I wonder if their mother has been demon this entire time and had them, but they're like half demon or something. Because they always talk about how like their mother would go out early in the morning and wouldn't return till it's night working. So I wonder if she was like doing demon things or whatnot.
No idea.
Because
by the way, you can
demon.
tell that the last name is too hard to pronounce when everyone's like, Ginya?
Shinazugawa. See, I am fluent in Japanese. Ohio. So the big things that happen are the fights going on. I hate Demon Slayer is good at a cliffhanger. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention one episode.
133.
567.
Oh,
for Demon Slayer, 567. Sorry, you're thinking logistically.
Podcast episode 133. Yeah,
but they all beheaded all 4 demons. At the same time, then they're like, "Oh wait, there's a 5th one." He's
well,
like
Nezuko sets the
Tanjiro's blade on fire, and it was so cool.
It turns red.
That's probably going down as either best animation of the year, depending what Bleach does. I feel like Bleach is about the only show that can pull out some better animation.
Demon Slayer has also been announced that its final episode is also going to be an hour. So
I mean, Demon Slayer's going to win.
Depending on what else they pull out.
Like we do an anime awards in the end of the year. Demon Slayer has to win. I feel like animation of the year, depending what comes out. Right? Because I don't think we ever consider movies for it, right? Because that's a whole different thing. But when he does the whole, like, I forget what it was. I was just watching it, not writing anything down. And he's like, yo, like, first form, like, blazing heart, sun, whatever. And he's like, and then he, like, makes a dragon pattern on there. And literally all the demons have the flashback of Mizuin or whatever the leader is. And it's like, oh, this is the dude we need to look out for. Chops off all the heads. I'm like, let's go, baby. And then you forget there's a 4th demon. Our other boy cuts his head off, and you're like, how are they not dead yet? Maybe their head isn't their weak spot. And then you find out there's this tiny dude just running around like a field mouse. They just like...
Yeah, I love how they portrayed that, where they finally cut over to the 5th one, and it's like, perspective-wise, he's really... kind of normal size, only until they finally get close, and he's like, he's the size of a mouse. How the fuck am I supposed to catch up to that?
He's like swinging his sword at him on there at the ground. It's like, I can't hit him, like he's so tiny. Then he goes to shoot him with a shotgun, does nothing, and you're like, did he just take a hit? Then he goes to cut him, and it breaks his sword.
Yeah, Ginya's sword breaks, and then Tanjiro attempts to. But the flame went out on the blade.
Yeah, and then he wasn't able to cut. No, but the big thing with that, too, is all 4 demons combined. I thought it was a 6th one. That's what Tanjiro thought. It's cool seeing the perspective. Like, nah, man, he absorbed the other demons, made this new whatever demon, that thinks he's on
anger.
Yeah,
I think.
And he thinks he's on the side of
fear.
No, I think it's anger. Maybe it's fear. I don't remember what it was.
Because it instills fear.
Yeah, but he shows off
they
like
can't move.
Just this massive skill of like, okay, remember the opening sequence of this entire show? There's the dragons coming around. Yep, that's this dude right now.
Mm-hmm.
But what was it? Our dude? I forget. If you want to look it up, I'm going to talk about it.
Which dude?
The sword guy.
Oh,
the swordsmith guy. So there's a scene where like they cut back, right? One of the Hirashi's in a bubble. That doesn't really matter. I like that they finally, everyone in the village, you never see anybody's face, right? Then they finally show
Hagen-Nezuko.
Haagen-Dazs. He's over there just going ham on the sword, right? And he's been focused for days and days. And I was like, oh, where is he at? And then the demon shows up, the artistic demon or whatever, autistic. He's like, oh, I'm kind of jealous. This guy's so concentrated. Let's see how concentrated he is. Demon starts slicing him on the back little by little to see if he'll break his concentration. The dude's just over there like, oh my God, the sword's perfect. Everything's perfect. All the concentration was made for one thing and one thing only. That's the only thing he thought about the whole time. And I'm just like, dude, you can like settle down.
Well, no, I mean, it's super important because the restoration process is supposed to be 3 days, not
just
uninterrupted.
And then you learn he's buff as hell.
He got buff while running away. The big thing you learn is he's hot. I'm gonna be honest. The mask breaks and it's like, why do you guys have to wear a mask?
What was that show we watched? Pretty Boy Detective Club? Pretty boys do pretty things. Demon Slayer.
Hot men hide their face.
Exactly. Maybe everyone in that village is like super hot. I wonder what the code is for taking off your mask.
Even that, like the head dude, the little tiny boy. Like
the
old
dude
man.
that fell into Mitsuru's breast, he's like getting crushed, falls into her breast. He's like, are you all right? I'm in cloud 9 right now. And it's like, settle down, dude. And of course, the other dude's like, I hit my head too. I'll be there in a moment.
We do get to see her sword, which was really cool.
We don't know who made it yet. They assume like the head chief did.
Yeah, I believe they mentioned that he did. But it's basically
I don't know if they mentioned he did.
A ribbon, essentially.
Well, they mentioned that her sword was made by a very high skilled swordsmith. And I wonder if our dude that's making Tanjiro's sword did it as well, or if the chief did. Because I don't think that they mentioned that they think he made it. I don't know if they confirmed that he made it, because I don't remember them confirming it. I just remember them saying, oh, the chief must have made that, because it's super flexible. It's like a ribbon.
Yeah.
And her fighting style is love.
I mean, we have mist, fire, water, blah, blah, blah.
Elements, Justus. Elements.
Well, yeah, the element. Mist.
Well, I mean, it's mist.
The element.
It's
sun.
It goes water into mist, into clouds, into rain. Like, it's a cycle, man.
Love is elements.
So is constipation gonna be a new form then? Like, oh,
that'd be pretty funny.
Fifth form, constipation. What do? He just stands there and does absolutely nothing the entire time. You tell me that's a form?
That'd be a pretty funny form. I mean,
fifth form, constipation.
They have lightning. What is Inosuke's form?
What is
Inosuke's form?
I don't know. Drug addict.
You've been with this man for 3 seasons. You don't know his form?
No, this is the third season. He's had 2 minutes of screen time this season.
Yeah, but there's been 2 seasons in a movie with him.
Well, we know Zenitsu's is obviously lightning. We know that Tanjiro's is crying, water style. So, listen,
water and fire and sun and
name at least once every 3 episodes that dude is crying at some point, like me. He's crying. He even cried this episode. He's like, Nezuko, I'm not gonna leave you.
Because Nezuko is the best.
Well, I mean, we all know that. There's points where she's okay, and then she's not okay. Small.
Very small.
She could have got out. Dude, she has shrunk down to like a pea size before. She's under that wood, and Tanjiro's like, I'll cut you out. It's like, Nezuko, you can get out of that.
Yeah.
She's been grabbed before with a guy that can crush wood. Listen, keep your story straight. Doesn't matter if she's stuck on another rebel. You know, help me, step bro. I'm stuck. Get her out of there. I don't know. I really like these episodes. They left it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It throws me off these episodes because technically we got 3 episodes on episode 1. So technically we are on episode 9.
Well, there were 2 episodes because it was it was only an hour.
It was like 52 minutes.
It was 40 something.
Yeah, but if you think opening, ending, we only got the opening. So, like, as far as, like, what we actually
two
got.
episodes, roughly. Because Oshinoko totals, like, 3.
Yeah, but, I mean, okay, if you think about it that way, we're 8 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be, what, 12 episodes?
I believe it's
the first episode's 48, and the last episode's supposed to be an hour. But to be fair, when they announced it originally, they were like, episode 1's an hour, but it turned out to be, like, 40-something minutes. Well, so I imagine it takes an hour time slot.
Yeah.
But it's not actually an hour. So we're technically at the end of the season, we'll get 14 episodes worth of content. I mean, I thought it was cool. You know, Tanjiro cried. He was like, oh, everyone's... I will say I did cry when he's like, everyone's counting on you. Oh, those people supporting you. And I'm like, sorry, Tanjiro, people are supporting you.
Oh, the dude that's, like, drowning?
Well, kind of. I mean, it happens twice in the thing where they're like, everyone's supporting you. You see, like, Rengoku's hand. You see Yuzui's hand. You see, like, everybody's hand touching his back, like, supporting him. And then he's like... I mean, the kid basically gave up his life to save the Hirashi.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about all I had for that on there. Unless you had something else you wanted to mention.
No.
Just to kind of stay on track.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Like, the show has been doing a good job. The biggest downfall right now is there's lots of moving parts, and certain ones aren't getting enough attention. Like,
hers, Mitsuri or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
she only got
hasn't shown up in like 2 episodes.
5 minutes total.
Yeah, and Muichiro, who was the one that was drowning, we cut over to him a lot in 3 episodes, and it's like, homeboy, I don't understand the passage of time because you should be dead.
Even the demon was like, yo, this is getting boring. I'm just gonna leave and come back.
Yeah.
You'll be dead by then. Also, he took a whole bunch of spikes to the face, but that was kind of my thing.
Yeah. So stuff like that's just challenging, though, when you have a lot of moving parts.
You know, this thing throws you off, kind of like how I like to throw you off. We are talking about Oshinoko second on there. Ooh, Oshinoko. Oh, the plan all along. Listen, we'll start by saying, well, this will probably be a highlight thing to Oshinoko. If you don't like suicide or you get triggered by it, maybe skip ahead to this time marker. I'm going to do it this time. Don't be judging. This time marker right here.
What? Yeah, we'll be talking about episodes 5, 6, and 7.
Throws me off because everything this week is basically 5, 6, 7.
Oh boy, episode 6 and the start of 7.
So I will say Kurokawa, which is by far one of the easiest names to say on this show. This was like, I'm not saying I cried when she was like going through the whole depression. Like, oh, it's emotional. But when like Aqua shows up and saves her, like she's literally on the edge, right? You guys can't see it, but she's on the edge. I'm gonna get straight to it. She goes to slip off in the sound. I don't know who does the sound in the show, but it's so good because you just hear the zip, and then Aqua comes up, basically grabs her, jumps back. I was like, that a boy, save that girl, man. Dick her down.
Yeah, so Akane, the entire episode is titled Ego Surfing. And they even touch on it at the very beginning where it's like
movie stars and artists just surf the web to see how popular they are.
If you spend too much time in that or trying to fix an opinion, because it all stems from on the show, she accidentally cut one of the main actress's face. Well, they didn't like.
Well, what had happened was like they were doing a scene. She had got her nails done, which I thought was like an inside ploy to get her, hated. She went to go grab the hand, accidentally scratched her face, which I don't know how you do that. And then the online hate just raged of like, this girl sucks. Who is this girl? I mean, that kind of is how a lot of reviews are. I look at the guy from Game of Thrones that quit after that, or Pikamine.
No.
Who was the V2?
That was a different thing. But she tries to apologize, and it fans the flames and only makes things worse to the point where she's not eating, depression. Not friends, but people at her school are talking shit about her in the bathroom.
Well, it seems like her friends, the people at school already have been. And then they reiterate it after this, how it just gets worse. Even like people she knows right next to her are talking shit. Even like her, the CEO of her company, talent agency she works for, is talking shit about her, and her manager is the only one kind of. You see very few people defend her. Like manager defends her. I feel like obviously Aqua kind of before that was trying to defend her, and then obviously saved the day.
Yeah. It was a very good, for lack of a better word, build up to the end of the episode.
It was depressing enough they had to put like a suicide prevention.
On High Dive at the very end.
Depending where it aired, it did. I don't know if it's true. I never fact checked, but people said depending where it aired, it did post your country's actual phone, which was a cool touch on there.
Yeah. The sound design, like you said, is really good. I'm also gonna put it out there. The fucking ending, absolute.
So she walks in.
Well, the ending song.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Between 6 and 7, they're getting it perfect with that ending.
This is what I told you. We were talking the other day about like the anime awards we do at the end of each year now. And how different endings. You originally said, they're all the same. This is one of the ones where it is different. It should be in there, like if different people sing it, different effects.
No, it's the same ending. It's just when they're putting it in.
Yeah, no, but then they do the kind of split thing where there's like some singing, then there's something, some singing. Like,
well, there wasn't like anything quite like that. Like they're basically just using the build up in the full song to be able to hit the actual ending one. It's very good. It's not a different song.
No, I'm talking about in one of the other episodes they did, because you were talking about in a couple of the episodes, not just the one.
Well, between 7 and 8, they do a good job of.
Listen, I just want to know if
the song
when she talked Kurokawa at the end, did they just substitute what was her name, Takashi Rei or Rei Takashi, the voice of I? Because she did the pitch. Listen, she goes crazy for a moment and really studies I. Like goes to the library, prints off hundreds.
She's a theater actress.
Yeah.
Who method acts. So
she literally pulls up all these articles, all these things. I thought the story was going to go, she found out, I was pregnant. Because she mentioned at one point, there was a while where she was just like getting sick and throwing up and just like having to take a break. And she disappeared for like 10 months. It's like
her demeanor changed. And then she was like, she must have met someone great. And then it's like ooh.
I wonder if what's going to happen.
Also, Aqua has the sus thing where it's like, what's your perfect woman? And he's describing but they also don't know that's his mom.
No, to be fair, it wasn't his mom. Yes. I'm just saying. To
everyone else, it's mama.
Well, no one knows that it's his mom.
It's going to be
one
weird.
person knows.
2, 3. The Ruby, Aqua, the manager, and the original manager.
Whatever. He doesn't count. He's probably dead. He's probably drunk in an alleyway, passed out, dead.
And then Dad. Dad's got to know.
Well, I don't think Dad ever saw them, though.
Well, but she's talked to him. They know. So.
He's got to know. Nobody's going to know. But, what? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, good sir.
Look, the
floor is yours.
I love the hell out of these last couple of episodes.
I wish I could see a live poll. Because this episode just came out yesterday? Wednesday?
Yeah.
I wonder how much the ratings have gone up since. Because my opinion on my anime list, I put it at an 8. I put it to a 9. Not quite a 10, but I'll see how it ends.
Yeah.
So why even do the things with her eyes? She shows up method acts. She looks kind of like his mom. And he's like, yo, this is my woman, man. This is my new love interest. That
man is unhinged and doesn't know
what to do. That boy's about to
do.
bend over at the desk and be like, oh, hi, how are you doing, Neil?
So Akane, like, you see her work really hard. That, like, no, let me go scream at the very end was very hard. The voice actress, which is what I'm getting at, did an amazing job of, like,
portraying a real emotion on there.
I looked up other things that the voice actress had been in recently.
Yeah.
Do not look.
Well, no, I already did look.
Do you know what
she's also in Dr. Stone right now, too, which is the weirdest thing that she'd done.
Well, I would say the weird one, because it was like, last season or the season before, she is in The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten and she is the angel. That
Well, she had a just passed over that on there.
Yeah,
you know what's even weirder? She was Ray from Buddy Daddies, and that dude sounded like a dude.
Yeah, that too. Where it's very good voice actress.
Well, she's also, not to go too far into it, but she has a very diverse portfolio, it seems like, of characters.
Yes.
I mean, also Toru from Fruits Basket. Fruits Basket, same thing since sliced bread. Maybe Justus just really likes voice actresses. A certain one.
I don't know.
There were other things I did want to talk about. Important things that happened that people might want to hear before we kind of sum it up. There is officially now 2 members of the idol group.
Yeah,
it's Ruby and Kana. So those 2 are in it. They finally got their name, which was what was it? What did you say?
Komichi.
Yeah,
which is the name of the original idol group that I was a part of.
And I showed Justus a meme one day. I was like, wow, this is, you know, the anime is weird, and it's the buff dude with a duck like face, and I was like, oh, that's weird. He's like, yeah, it's the newest episode of Oshinoko. I'm like, no way, no shot. Then you get there, it's just this massively muscular ripped dude with a duck helmet, and she's like, peon, and then like Kana's like, you don't make any money. He's like, I make 100 million yen last year. She's like, sign me up, baby. You know what you're doing. And all he does is just, it's even weirder because the workout videos for kids, I'm like, sir, you need to hide that bulge a little bit on there. Your David Bowie's kind of hanging out. But the girls did go the whole hour for the workout thing.
On Oshinoko's official YouTube channel, they also put like a 1 hour video of this.
Did they animate a whole hour of him exercising?
I think it's an actual person doing
like an actual rip dude doing the whole.
I'd have to double check.
Dude, do you think we could do it? Let's do a full video. Come on, we could do a whole just 1 hour. Come on.
No. But
stamina whack.
This is one of the perfect examples of just how Oshinoko does let your guard down a little bit, because this is before basically the attempted, suicide episode where you're like, this, what the fuck am I watching? Like, literally at one point they're, peon and they're doing the dance, and there's an entire song. The subtitles go away. They're on a green screen. Also,
did Aqua even mention he was doing another gig before we watched this? I don't think he did. I don't remember. Because they're just like, oh yeah, your brother's doing a gig. What? Yeah, he's on this whole love show. I'm like, this was just a drastic 180 turn from
I remember that.
I don't remember him saying he got that. I remember him talking to the director about, hey, I got another job, but I don't remember the whole love story, the like school romance. I will say they did portray reality TV 100% the way it is. Like, yeah, they're 100% right. Most reality TV is like, yep, we're just going to set up a whole bunch of cameras. You do your thing, make up your own story.
The director will nudge a little bit, though. I think, and some of the bigger ones, they nudge a whole lot.
Well, I will say, before we move on, I did have a professor when doing film school where he actually worked on season 1 of Jersey Shore. He was a big part of like assistant director, I think is what his actual role was. They brought him on. Basically, it was just like 30 people walking around with just Canon 5DS or Canon 5Ds, just recording everything. They're just like, okay, just do your thing. All right, today we're going to the beach. You have a fight. That's about the only direction I have. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Mean, that's still like, you're nudging the narrative if you're like, you and you fight.
But yeah, but that's the thing of like, today the big thing is just you two have a fight, but you got to like fake everything else up.
Yeah.
Just get ready to tell you, ruin America's Got Talent, because he worked on that too.
I do appreciate that in this, even characters that are meant to, that you would think would be like a bad person, like Sumi, who gets her face cut. Like, she's still very supportive. She's a bad person. Very supportive as well. Like, even in the instant of something bad happening, she's immediately like there to.
That woman, 100% gets in like, oh, we didn't. They made a whole video supporting her. Whatever, she gets happy. The girl, I just closed the tab. Akane. That other girl that got her face cut, she's like, there were still those still cameras. I knew exactly as an actress where a model where it'd be at. I'm like, okay, good on you. At least you're looking out for your girl while trying to bring her down. Speaking of bringing people down,
A little change of pace before we get back to depression.
Welcome back. We're no longer talking about Oshinoko. Speaking of bringing people's level down, Yamada's being real trash at his FPS.
Apparently.
Listen, they introduced this. I'm going to go on a rant for 2 seconds. They introduced this random woman, Yakiri, or whatever her name is. She's like, yo, you've been doing pretty bad. I watched your stream yesterday. It's like, shut up, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the swearing I'm doing this episode.
Okay. I do like with Runa, with the last.
You like this story?
No. With Runa, you've gone from the boss, fighting the boss, to the playable character version where they're very different.
When you unlock her.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so this is legitimately just a child that only eats and sleeps and like.
Her story's kind of sad. No one wants to play with her. Like,
well, maybe if she's not just texting her 300 friends, they're not your friends, bitch. Like, in your case, like, I'm not your friend either. But like, texted me.
Yeah, I said, fuck you, Justus. That's my other swear word. That's it. I'm done. I'm officially done. Listen, it's online friends.
Ooh, be catching them feelings.
She'll be catching some chlamydia if she ain't careful.
I think she'll be okay with it.
I think she. Listen, I'm a sucker for goofy rom-coms. Like, they like each other. They just can't admit it. I'm like, yo, just kiss her, man. Just go in. Or maybe you should go in for the kiss, my gal. Like, when they're in her apartment, he's like,
they come down at school.
What? No, that's a child. No, actually, he's 18.
17,
whatever. But when, like, they're in her apartment, and you gotta stop kicking. Justus over here making a racket. Stop playing with stuff. Give you a fidget toy. But he goes, undoes her hair clip, and he's like, your hair down does look kind of good. And then he keeps it.
And he gave it back.
He gives it back eventually, and she's like, oh.
Came in her hair.
So, why you gotta ruin a good show, Justus? He likes her. The best part, I'm a sucker for it, dude. They're at the school festival, Yamada-kun. She's walking around. She's like, I want to go hang out with Yamada-kun. Every single woman is there, and they're like, what was that, Yamada-kun's girlfriend? I'm going to kill her. I hate her. Blah, blah, blah. Then at the end, he chases after her, man. That's the best part about every rom-com. When he chases after
Ita made the joke of like, oh, why don't you guys just start dating? And then Yamada recognizes that it's a joke, though it's very deadpan. And he goes, I mean, sure, why not?
And she's over there like, oh, and I'm over here like, girl, just go in for the kiss, just go in like full like blouse.
Give him the sloppy toppy, he'll never leave.
It's supposed to be this nice, adorable comedy, romance, anime, and you're over here trying to make it your perverted hentai domestic girlfriend. Garbage over there. This is quality rom-com anime. Tanakawa, okay at best. Dangers in My Heart, okay at best. This,
I bet Momoko gives better head. She's desperate for a boyfriend, though.
Listen, the whole arc of her, like, constantly going... She's probably, like, one of the better-looking characters in the show. They're 2D, so it really doesn't matter. A lot better than an Airy gal, episode 1, with the, like...
the weird lips?
Yeah, the big old lips. Those were too big, and we all know it.
Dim inflatables.
Yeah, what them lips... I don't know. I really enjoy it. There's not too much else I can say besides, like...
I think it's gotten better.
It's the best. Better than Demon Slayer, trust me.
Well, better than Oshinoko?
Listen, don't push your luck there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a better love story. Oshinoko is just a murderous rampage revenge story.
You take that back!
Doctor gets killed, episode 1. Revenge. They haven't like the first 40 minutes. I don't remember. No, they're getting remember before we slow down too much. Man, I don't know what to say, man. I just love this so much. Like when they're on the steps and he's like, yo, like, well, if we stay together kind of like forever kind of thing. Like you're the only person I like really kind of care about kind of situation. They both realize it. And
How many episodes did you watch?
What?
You watched 3 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just double check.
Yeah, that was
you're wording it weird.
I don't remember the exact words he said in the steps. I didn't type it out.
At one point, she asked, like, what if, like, you know, us dating would actually be true? And then he said that it would be an honor.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah, but then he goes more into it, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. One thing leads to another. They should have kissed there, but honestly, they're probably going to wait. Because shut up, man. This is supposed to be adorable. You're over here just ruining the whole thing. You don't see me going, like, you know. He talks about what do you call it? Vinland's talking like, oh, interesting. Like, oh, what about slaves? I want to know more. No, because every time I talk about it, he's like, I can't believe you interrupt me. It's like, no, I actually want to know what's going on in Vinland Saga, so I don't have to watch 20 episodes of just, oh, we're on a farm cutting wheat, Farmville.
It's more than that.
No, it's not.
We'll get into it.
No, but that wasn't going to be a transition because I wanted to mention one thing. Takezo. Takizo, or however you say his name, he's the strawberry guy.
Sure.
My anime awards, because we talked about it a lot. That's my first nomination for best supporting character. My man over there, like realizing he's over there, like our girl Runa's sick. He bought her the shirt. He got her kind of the food. Like he's looking out for the gang, and he gets nothing out of it, just to see them happy.
Good friends, nice strawberry farmer. I do have one gripe.
What?
Just because it's unrealistic. It's the most unrealistic thing out of any of this.
Demon Slayer Oshinoko, the most unrealistic thing. Oh.
In the show, it's the most unrealistic thing.
What?
In the game that they play, there is no fucking way you can have a character that goddamn small.
It's like a speck. And like,
they literally just like when they pop out to show kind of like the outward perspective, they just put the arrow where it's like, just so you know, so you can keep track.
Listen, just because you play Power Wash Simulator doesn't mean the rest of us don't play MMORPGs.
Matt, point to me in the existence of video games where a character is that a playable character is that small. It doesn't exist.
I'm pretty sure there's Pathfinder.
It's the one thing where it's like, nah, that's no game would make a character.
Have you played the Rugrats game?
That's still different.
I mean, they went into like an artery or something like that. They got real tiny. I'm sure there is. Listen, next time we come back around to it, remind me at least 34 hours
like
in advance.
An MMO. We're gonna do specifically an MMO.
What if I make one in the next week?
Making an MMO.
Imagine if everyone was that tiny in the MMO. Just also, they point out he's always in the dungeons. I'm like, doing what?
Apparently, when he's in danger, he grows real big and he's a demon.
Well, they're foreshadowing that he's the strongest character. And when they get, this is such a precious show, and you just ruin all of it.
A monstrous cock.
It's just like, who doesn't have monstrous cock? Everyone in Vinland Saga, because it sucks. Talk about Vinland Saga, Justus. Thanks for ruining my favorite show.
I think it's...
I'm going to sit here. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to hate on everything Vinland Saga. Tell us about the slaves and the farm. Mr. Candy.
It's fine. I think you'll be happy with how this turns out. So the kettle and them finally.
Oh, does he look like a kettle that you pour?
Just finally
shows the sloppy top to it.
Yeah, they finally show up back to his farm after RNA.
Wait, who's RNA again? Is that the lady?
The lady who's pregnant.
Sex slave?
Yeah, basically. Whose husband was murdered. And the last owner now digs her down, right? Yes. So
for those who didn't know,
Kettle comes back.
That way does come.
Einar, Thorfinn, and Aranade have all been tied up.
I like where this show's going now. Maybe I gotta get on some Vinland Saga.
Kettle has been freaking out the entire time because
I thought they were free.
Huh?
I thought they were free.
Kettle has yet to free them. He said once he gets back, they will be free.
Kettle's tied up now.
No, Kettle is the owner of the farm.
But he tied the other people up.
No, it's a snake. Because Thorfinn, Einar, and Aronade all tried to help guard or
leave.
Yeah, like escape. Sorry,
escape, as Dory would say.
but Garter died, and they just came back and then were captured.
What a waste of time.
Well, the king of Denmark, Canute, is on his way, like
Sounds
following
like a real pussy.
just a day behind. Yeah, Kettle loses his mind a little bit, of course, with fear, where it's like the king and his men are on his way to like kill me. This is fucked.
Is he gonna set Thorfinn free so we can go shinobi style like bullshit?
So when he gets there, he's immediately like looking for Aronade. Finds out that she
Really quick, is Kettle really just not on this list right away?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
She tried to escape,
Escape.
and he goes into a rage and
Dicks her down.
beats her to death with a stick.
Whoa, Justus just said, I quote, a couple episodes ago, this guy really isn't that bad. He has some slaves, but they can be free. Now he's raping slaves.
He never raped. She comforted him.
He forced her to because he
Einar
owns her.
and
then
Thorfinn-
he beats someone to death with a stick, Justus.
It's a slave. He owns it. It's his
This
thing.
doesn't make him a nice person.
No, I mean, it clearly doesn't. Especially after this episode where it's like,
Well, you go on record saying he's a terrible person now.
he is a terrible person. But Einar and Thorfinn were set free. They are free men.
He killed some people, but he said
Aronade just got absolutely mollywopped with a stick, though.
Justus is over here, bad guy meeting. Just because you're a bad guy doesn't make you a bad guy.
She doesn't die immediately, though. It's her, the injuries.
This is the third person that hasn't died immediately. He leaves him to suffer.
Well, it didn't mean may have also just killed the unborn baby in her stomach. So
Triple kill.
Double kill. Thank you very much.
Well, then he killed the husband too?
No, because Kettle was on the ship. Snake killed the.
Oh, did they? These are terrible people. Just I don't know why you're rooting for him.
It's fine. The king has landed.
That doesn't make it any better. He sounds just as worse.
I mean, Canute did murder his brother to become the king of Denmark and England.
I will give him royalty. Just does that. It happens all the time. He gets the one.
Yeah.
He gets the one. But if he rapes or kills, oh my Jesus Christ!
Well, he's like just secretly poisoned his politician, like enemies and stuff.
Politician. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, was he a good politician or a bad politician?
Political power. It's whatever. But Thorfinn does reunite with Leif Erikson. Unfortunately, because Aronade was beaten so severely, their reunion is a little soured. But they do finally meet for the first time in like 20 years. 15 years. So a ridiculously long time.
2 weeks. It's too long.
There is a battle that happens.
Oh, I'm so glad we're 20 episodes in. There's finally a fight. How many episodes are we in, Justus?
20. There's 4 episodes left.
Guys, you got to watch 20 episodes of Farmville, and
It's,
then you can get a battle.
Literally not. I've talked about a dude getting his head chopped off like 3 episodes ago.
So one dude gets his head chopped off. It's 18 other episodes of Farmville.
I think so far leading up to this, there have been at least 27 men murdered in this
How many
season.
got murdered in the first season?
A lot. Like a lot.
Imagine if you watch.
I can't count that many.
Imagine if you watch Godfather Part 1. They kill all those people. Get a Godfather Part 2. Yo, we shot Tony and Vinny. Other than that, we're just out here in the garden.
I mean, it's kind of like Part 2. Part 2 is way weaker than Part 1. Let's be honest. But
Well, okay, so are they? Does it feel like they're? Have you read ahead?
No.
Do you feel like they're setting up for a bigger, like, huge fight in season 3? Like it's gonna end on a huge cliffhanger. And we're gonna have a huge.
So look, the big thing is
I can't look.
It's
quiet.
Kettle rounds up 300 men and is essentially like, I will, relinquish you of any debts if you fucking kill the king. Anyone that does it, I'll relinquish all debts of all 350 of you. Because he's
This
very
feels like
wealthy.
a show that we've watched before.
The-
No, sorry. Hell's Paradise. Yo, bring me this apple. Pff, you're good to go.
Yeah. But we will get to Hell's Paradise, but the king has brought his personal guard. 100 men versus 350 men, but
of quality over quantity.
It's like Somali pirates versus Navy SEALs. Like, okay, boys.
Well, to be fair, that was 3 versus 5. I mean,
but
odds were a little bit better for the SEALs.
Yeah. So, the people just start dying. Snake and Thorkill are the only ones who can kill any of the king's men, and they only get 3 of them.
And they're rusty. They've been slaves for years.
They retreat, and after Arne dies, Thorfinn's like, I'm going to go talk to Canute. Because they have, been together in season 1. The Askeladd had both Thorfinn and Canute under his thumb. So they know each other. He goes, Canute only brought about 100 men. I'll be back. I'll be fine. 100 men I can take, essentially.
Pretty sure it's what Mia Khalifa
said. Shut up. And he's telling Leif Erikson that, and that's how it ends. Where it's like, ooh, Thorfinn's gonna.
Is it 22 episodes?
24.
So 4 episodes. 2 episodes are gonna be killing all the men. 1 episode to wrap it all up, and then 1 episode for a cliffhanger.
I don't know. I'm excited. The show is very good. It's currently ranked 50, and
well, it sounds like he's pretty delusional about his standards.
Hey, more depression!
Woo, baby, let's go!
You want to see a follow through?
Okay, I gotta mention something in the show. Heavenly Delusion. There is a scene in a quote. It went in.
Yes.
Toturi, which love the name. She kind of looks like Toturi from To Your Eternity. She literally runs a hotel. She wants to be
Tonari and the other one.
Basically, it's close enough. She wants to be like the king of like hotels. She is like, we have fresh, clean futons, and I was like, whatever.
And I'll fuck you.
Well, that was the whole thing. She like later on she says, oh yeah, and I'll run a prostitution ring only for guys that she likes. So she has some standards on there, maybe in case she gets pregnant.
She likes everyone.
Literally, there's a point where Maru in Kiruko, they get trapped by a bear. She makes a deal. This is important to the whole overarching thing. She's like, if you go down, you go down first, blah blah blah. I'll let you touch my boob.
Or that man jumps before the sentence is finished.
She says, yeah, I'll let you touch my boobs if you go down. And the dude's just off to the races. He does the whole thing. That's not important. What's important is later when they get to the hotel, Toturi guides them in because, Kuroko is just trying to be nice, give money, but actually get something out of it at the same time. Maru goes to grab the boobies. He's like, listen, a deal's a deal. Well, hold up. It gets real rapey here for a second. A real sexual assaulty here. Not quite rapey. And Kuroko's trying to, okay, let's set some boundaries.
It's also really weird when he's like, hey, sis, you made a bet. He always refers to her as sis. So it's like, maybe not try to go for some titty while calling her sister.
Yeah, well, there's a point where it's like, yeah, my sister looks like this, but what's inside is this, holding up the photos. Also, there's a point.
He's basically like, that won't stop me.
That won't stop me. I'm boobies. It's like, listen, man, I'm on your side. Boobies are boobies. Doesn't matter what it's on. But they go to grab the boobies. Obviously, Toturi comes in like, hey, be quiet. Don't make a mess. Basically, don't make a mess on the futon because you're going to come all over the place because you're a teenager. She brings him back to the other room. And immediately she's like, okay, takes off her clothes. Give me either the solar panels, which I still realize are worth a lot, not really going to go bad, or $800,000. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money. But then I realized, oh yeah, a random CD can be worth like
400,000.
Yeah, it was like 400,000 or it was like a ridiculous. No, I think it was 400,000 just for the disc. But if it fully works, you can get like 1 million something. Or I'm saying something ridiculous. So she goes to basically dick him down. The guy's like, nah. So now he's getting assaulted after he just assaulted her. I'm like, serves you right. Then she gets fully naked. Basically, he
does grab some titty.
No, she grabs his hand to grab her titty.
Yeah,
He does squeeze though.
Yeah,
that's on him. But then like there's a point where he's trying to hold her down and he's in his underwear and she's like bent over, butt naked, and Maru's standing there like, listen, I know this looks bad, I can explain. And then Toturi's like, it went in, and he's like, this is bad. This is really bad. And I was like, dude, there's no way you can explain this. Luckily, Toturi was the bigger girl and did admit what she did wrong.
Yeah.
And she was still naked when explaining.
The main reason why he was also yelling for Kiriko to come in, not like that, is his specific special grip that he can do, which kills man-eaters, was activated on Toturi.
Yeah, and this was foreshadowing.
Yes.
Because you find out later in the next 2 episodes that there was a disease going around, which I assume is that disease that they had now in the lab institute, right?
Yes.
Man, I'm just going to have to put your mic in a completely different spot. You're just over this.
Sorry.
It makes sense now. Like, our theory was right of they become man-eaters.
Yes.
It wasn't quite a man-eater egg, but when you die and you have this disease, you become a man-eater. That's why there's so many still popping up. And she had it inside of him, or she had it inside of her, and then he started to activate.
Yeah.
And you find out hospital episodes, everyone there, the reason why they were cutting off limbs, because you're like, oh yeah, it's fucked up. They're cutting off limbs. It's because that's the part that had a man-eater thing inside of it, and the doctor could figure that out somehow.
From my understanding, it initially started out with him just like whipping something up and for a dude who was missing an arm, and then more people showed up because they were already like missing limbs or like needed some assistance.
That woman deserved exactly what she got when she died and got I have no idea what technically happened, a brain aneurysm or something. There was a lady with one leg that was like, yeah, we're pro old civilization. And then they throw a rock at the organization that's actually doing good medical work. And they throw a rock back, and she dodges it without even getting hit.
Idiot.
Hits her head, dies. And now you have this new villain character that's all about the new world, new order.
Yeah.
So they have to do a second season now, right? I feel like this is a setup for the finale of this season to where you find out, hey, we got to the Institute, but now there's an enemy organization.
Well, there was a man-eater that woke up in the basement when they took over.
Yeah.
So
dude, that was
they're probably going to get their comeuppance.
But that was a pretty good episode as far as like when she was like having that mental breakdown or whatever from the man-eater, and like it's biting off her limbs. I'm like, man, this is pretty graphic, even for this show thus far.
Yes.
I did cry. I gotta say it. Justus knows I cried. Literally, the woman in the hospital that's connected to all the machines is his wife, I assume, or his lover or something.
I believe so.
And the doctor gave up his eye.
Usami is the doctor's name.
Usami gave up his eye for her. You don't find that out to then. This girl's hooked up to all these machines. She's got man-eater inside of her. The doctor's trying to find a way to kill her without making her a monster.
A man-eater.
Yeah, and luckily Maru, which is why they wanted him, comes up. He's like, okay, I can do it. Any last wishes? And this woman literally is just bedridden, always in pain, can only see on a tablet.
No arms, no legs.
Missing an eye.
Yeah, one eye, can't speak, on a ventilator.
Well, she originally had no eyes, but the doctor, brave man, he probably did that himself. Gave her his eye so she could at least see. She got to see.
By the way, he's like, yeah, I'm no doctor. You have quite a bit of talent to be able to transplant an eyeball.
Transplant an eyeball, get like a blood oxygen. I mean, to be fair, this must have been the guy that was like keeping Osama bin Laden alive. All we could have known.
So, look, her big wish.
This was rough to watch, especially right before Oshinoko.
Her wish is to see sunlight one last time.
The sky.
Yeah.
Not sunlight.
Sorry.
Sky.
The sky.
Let me see sunlight.
They
get her outside.
Yeah. They make that happen. And at the very end, passes away. It's already kind of building an emotion.
He destroys the demon core inside of her, which is basically what's keeping her. Yeah. And then that was pretty sad because after that, who cares about the right thing? The doctor's like, I'm gonna go bury her. Then he goes upstairs.
So you're missing a very key part, because Usami was like, maybe it would have been better off if she would have like just been a monster and died that way.
Yeah.
And then you see
she
the
did
tablet.
She did type a message on the tablet like, thanks for letting me die.
A human's like,
thanks for the eye.
Yeah, I love you at the very end, and the man breaks down, and
I'm
Matt broke down.
Dude, it was at the same time. Calvin's in the room. He's like, "Are you crying?" I was like, "No, I'm a man." I mean, it was a very guttural, good cry, and then like he takes her. They're gonna go bury her.
Way tears right now.
Yeah, I know, right? Right on the edge, and he goes to like bury her. Then he goes up. I think he said he needed to grab something.
Mm-hmm.
And they even mentioned like, oh, should I go protect him? Oh, he'll be fine up there. He sits down. He's reminiscing about his, I assume wife, their good times they kind of had together, what had happened. And then he pulls a gun. And I'm like, he's holding her like here. She's obviously dead. He's just still just holding her. He pulls out a gun. And I'm like, oh, man, don't you dare. Puts it to his head. I'm like, don't you know. So like, Kuriko, just get up there. And then you just hear bang. And you're just like, dude did it. 100% did it.
Yep.
And then they're crying again. I'm crying again. And then Maru has that breakdown of like, they're only good for killing. No, they're good for everything. And then they banged. They didn't bang.
They didn't do that. There was a post-credit scene of Mimihime, which is in the laboratory. Kind of the weird ditzy one with the longer hair. I think because it was already established that she can see the future, kind of early on when seeing some of their powers.
I mean, Kona can draw the man-eaters.
Yes. With Mimihime, I think it was a little too on the nose, and I know enough about the lab now. Everything that we know about the lab is in the past. That girl who died, missing arms, legs, has to be her, which means the boy that she likes in there is Usami.
You mean, shoot, I forget his name. Probably.
Because they have matching hair. Even in the bandages, you can see her hair color.
Yeah.
Matches her hair color. And...
Shiro. Sorry, that's his name.
And at one point...
Oh, the jawline's a lot different, you know.
Oh, yeah. Fucking 25 years will do that to a person.
It looks like a lot more than 25 years for him.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he's gray hair.
But specifically, like... Early on, she mentions that, she saw someone that looks like Tokyo that isn't. I
mean, to be fair, the last man-eaters you saw did look pretty similar to how the babies kind of were. So I wonder if I don't know. It's just so weird because they all have technically big superhuman abilities.
Yes. And timeline-wise, it makes sense that this is actually what's happening, because it would also track, because at one point we were very confused of like thinking that Maru and Tokyo were
the same person, maybe,
if it's set in the past. And last episode we do see her banging a dude.
Could be their kid.
That is mom.
That was pretty hard to explain when Calvin came walking back in again. It's like, why are they naked?
There were also like lots of nudity within these last couple of episodes.
I mean, Kuriko was naked like probably 4 times. And then like those 2 kids were naked. I'm like, well, hold the phone. I can explain this, Calvin. He's like, can you? I'm like, it's part of the show. He's like, can you though? And I was like, I don't know how to explain this right now.
Yeah, I think that is what's going on. We are learning early on about the man-eaters, how the escape or the downfall happens.
Maybe the downfall is the man-eaters getting out because they're growing all those things. For some reason, I feel like they mentioned that like they're waiting on the doctor. That's the main doctor. The also big thing before we end it, you find out that Robin, this whole person we're looking for, used to be a doctor, used to be a surgeon.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, the plot thickens and he's alive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is alive, and that Usami one helped work with him, he also had a little button in his hand that is the same owl
As her gun.
As her gun.
So then that's like, oh, there's a dead end.
Yeah.
Because he was looking at it before he killed himself. I'm like, oh, they're going to find out some info. And then dude shoots himself. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the I think the show has gotten better.
It has definitely gotten better.
Because this is what, episode 6, 7, 8 or whatever?
Yeah.
When we ended episode 5, I was like, So.
8 was the best episode so far.
When they added so much to the plot. We're at about an hour, Justus.
Yeah.
You know what that means? You should check out the Cross ExAnime news once you're done watching this. That was aired yesterday because this will come out on Tuesday. News should be here on Monday. Sorry for last week and not coming out. But if you made it this far, like, subscribe, comment, say something. I don't know. Say boobies. Boobies.
All right, thank you guys for watching.
You want to press a button this week?
No. Bye.